Welcome to Good Dates Gone Bad. I'm your host, Lee, and this is my guest. And what's your stage name today?
Sunny.
This is Sunny. On the fly. We are going to share with you some not so long ago deal breaker dating stories that I have written 2 books, and I've recorded 80 deal breaker dating stories, all anonymously written. Lots of them are my own. Lots of them are from friends of mine, and some are from friends of friends. So here we go. Let's get into it. My friend Sunny is going to tell us what is a good date? What does it mean to go on a good date?
When a guy just, tries to court you, right? Pick out a great restaurant. He'll open the door for you and just treat you like a queen.
Kind of sets the tone for the relationship that could be.
Exactly.
Right.
Just like a gentleman.
That's right.
Right? Just
being
be a
connected,
gentleman.
make a good decision on a restaurant.
Yeah.
You don't want to select a bad restaurant, right?
Right. And making me laugh during dinner.
That's good. Okay. So now what about a bad date? What is a bad date?
Somebody that just doesn't, have class, right? Not being a gentleman, not opening the door.
Not having a clue.
Right. You can't have a conversation, doesn't make you laugh. So,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no connection. I'm sure everybody has had one of those.
Yes.
So.
Well, tell me an example of a bad date that you've had.
A bad date.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I dated, this is early on, I dated a guy, and then we went back to my house, hung out, and he decides to try on my makeup. So I'm like, okay, yes.
Why was he trying on your makeup? Wait a minute.
Yes.
Eyeliner?
Just my foundation.
Did he have acne or scars?
No. I guess he was into
cross-dressing?
Yeah, something. So,
I have heard of that.
So that was my first and last date with him.
It would be a deal breaker.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you caught him?
Yeah. I mean, he was in my bathroom, and he's like, "Hey,
did y'all hook up before, and then he got real comfortable and started trying on your makeup?"
Yeah. We kissed before, and then I guess he was comfortable because
obviously,
yeah. Anyway, that was a bad date.
So you just sent him on his way. You're
yes.
like, yeah, no.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Now you got germs on my makeup, dude. You got to go.
Yeah.
Got to hit the road.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's super awkward. Well, we are going to read from one of my books, Volume 1. And there's 2 volumes. And this is High Expectations. It's number 18 in Volume 1. And you can actually buy the books on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. And I will include the links on my site, so you can always find that. But she's going to read to you a story. She's never read it before. This is not hers. This is not mine. This is a friend of a friend's. Okay, so just listen.
All right, High Expectations, a woman's story. So she met a guy who attended MIT who also happened to grow marijuana in Western Massachusetts. He invited her on a night out to dinner, and she accepted, not realizing what she was going to get herself into that evening. He picked her up in his old 5-year-old BMW, top down with a lit cigarette in his mouth, honked the horn twice as he entered her driveway. Disgusted by her date's honking horn, she peeled back the curtain and shook her head.
Now, how obnoxious would that be? That's so ridiculous, right? This is Daddy's son. The daddy did well, probably an attorney or something. Sent his son to MIT. Typical kid. He's got the Oxford shirt on and the khaki shorts and the flip-flops and Daddy's hand-me-down BMW. Thinks he's all that, but he ain't all that. So go ahead.
Right, and he couldn't even go up to the door, knock on the door.
Couldn't even bother to go to the door.
So she had a bad feeling about this guy, but decided to go with the date anyway. So since she didn't have anything better else to do on Tuesday evening. So she walked out towards his car. He exited his car just in time to throw his cigarette into the lawn.
Classy!
Yeah. He greeted her with a kiss on the cheek, and then in a chivalrous move, he opened her car door. In a weird sort of way, he acted very comfortable with her despite the fact that she hardly knew him. Curious to see how the date went, and turned out she smiled back at him with a greeting. Then they drove to the local steakhouse and ate a mediocre
AKA
meal.
Outback.
Right. As she thought he would have suggested a steakhouse with some sort of flair. Kind of like a Chops or something, right?
He doesn't have it in him.
Yeah. So she was mostly unimpressed by his inability to select a complimentary wine to accompany the meal. And the $20 bottle of wine went down harsh anyway.
So now, guys, if you're listening to this story, learn your wine. Do a wine class. Go to wine club in your neighborhood. Do something so you understand how to order a damn bottle of wine.
Right.
That is such a turn off.
Right.
Go ahead.
So here we are as she gulped down her food and wine, and they're trying to engage in some sort of random deep conversation about how their studies were going and encompassing how the world went. Her thoughts were often of her cozy on the couch at the house and how she wanted to be sitting on it, away from this numbskull.
Yeah, she'd rather be at home than dealing with this fool.
Right. But
She
before
chose
knew
wrong going on a Tuesday night date with this guy.
Before she knew it, he ordered another bottle of the same crappy wine and then refilled her glass immediately. Politely, she continued to have an occasional sip here and there, and then while he gabbed on and on about himself. As he put a major dent in the second bottle of wine, his conversation began to die down, and he asked if she wanted to go back to his place to smoke out. Thinking back at the last time she had actually smoked weed, she agreed, thinking it could change the course of events.
Here come his high expectations.
Right, despite his lack of charm. So he paid the check, they left the steakhouse, and eventually arrived at his humble 1-acre, 3-story home on a hill in a very posh neighborhood. His home?
Daddy's hand-me-downs.
Yeah. His home was the only one, however, that seemed to boast a dream catcher in the kitchen window. She realized this guy was a hippie at MIT and would always be a hippie despite his future endeavors.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with being a hippie.
Right.
Just be real. Be consistent.
Right.
You don't have to drive an older BMW. Just be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, drive a damn Subaru. Everybody knows you're a hippie.
All right, his home was very cozy. His couch became inviting. Giving her a quick tour of his house, he excused himself for a minute and went down into the study to unlock the drawer to retrieve some greeniest, stinkiest weed that she ever experienced.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
His face lit up with pride as he presented the bag to her, and then she escorted him into the living room basement. It was a perfect setup for hanging out with an illegal sense, and she immediately felt at ease. As they passed around the joint...
And now to this thing, now obviously she related to him here, okay?
Right.
She didn't really want the hoity-toity stuff. She's more like, oh, you know, I like this side.
Right. She's getting more comfortable.
But what's next?
So the high began to kick in, and she noticed his conversation was getting deep again. So she wanted to shut him down, and she laid a big kiss on him. He shut up for a minute or two, which was nice since her kiss was wet and sloppy. But when they were both silly and high, the kiss seemed really good. So as she pulled away, he requested, "Would you please masturbate with the tomato over
Now, wait
there?"
a minute. Wait, I want you to read that again.
As she pulled away, he requested, "Would you please masturbate with the tomato over there?" Right. Where,
now, how are you going to do that?
Right. I would love it if you would masturbate with the tomato. Shot?
How are you going to do that?
Right. I mean, what?
How do you do that? We all know what happens when tomatoes get wet.
Right. Shocked and very high, she lazily glanced in that direction and was pointing at the tomato on the table randomly.
That you must be really high.
Right, for sure.
Even did A consider this?
Right.
To consider it.
Right, who does that?
How are you going to do that? And then number two, to ask someone to do that.
Right.
What is happening right now? Okay, go. I shake my head. So
random, she said out loud, unsure if she should take on his request seriously, but he kept on asking her to perform this obnoxious act. She declined a very definite no, but his persistence became intensified. He had asked her about 6 times now, not letting up, which was really irritating her. With a huge huff, she got off the couch, walked over to the tomato, picked it up, and squished it in her hand, and then threw it at him.
That's right.
Allowing it to splatter all over him and the couch.
That's right.
She laughed out loud, which only pissed him off. She laughed even louder and pointing at the tomato goo that was hanging off his chin. He was really upset now and demanded that she go home.
Yes.
She continued to laugh. She reminded him that he had picked her up and that he had to take her home, which was perfectly fine by her at that point. High or not, she totally didn't mind him driving, as he was finally silent for the first time in the evening.
Oh my goodness. So she had a good kiss. He asked her to masturbate with a tomato. I mean, what the hell?
Who does that?
And then how are you going to do that?
Right.
You can't do that.
Right.
It's stupid.
Right.
Guys, don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that.
The top of his BMW was down and it was a gorgeous evening. So she closed her eyes, tried to enjoy her high with the wind blowing in her hair, and sat there in silence, knowing in his strange ways he would never change. So she gracefully thanked him for dinner, exited his car while he sped out of her driveway. His lack of grace allowed her to forget all about him, and she never saw him again.
That's right. Bye.
Yeah. Maybe she never heard from him because he found somebody to fulfill his high expectations.
That's right. So, what's the lesson learned here, ladies? Should you go out with a guy that has not properly set up the date, really has no clue of how to treat a woman,
Right.
totally disrespectful, flicking his cigarette on the front lawn,
Yeah, don't settle for less.
just wants you to masturbate with a damn tomato. We
Right.
all know that's impossible to
Right.
do. Some of you may not know. Try it. You'll find out it's not possible. Right? You don't want to go with a loser like that?
Right.
No, get your shit together,
Right.
guys. All right, well, thank you for being on the show, Sonny. Cheers
You're
to you.
welcome.
And be sure to like and subscribe. Right? More to come from Good Dates Gone Bad. Cheers.